Hey everybody, it's me, it's your girl, the real DMZ Bennett. And it's right now, it's 11:29. Got one more minute till 11:30. Ah, um, well, today's topic is how to do modeling digitals photographer edition. Okay. As you know, y'all should know, I am a photographer and as well as doing content creating. And I always have to let me just get to the point. I have to do my craft. I have to brush up on my craft. And one of the things we have to do is come on, Daniel, gotta get to the point. Learn about your craft. Keep on breasting, not breast. Keep at it. Always gotta learn more stuff. And you have to do research. And the best thing about YouTube is that you can actually go on YouTube and you can actually search for different things. And one of the people I've actually came across is this guy. He did a video on how to take modeling digitals as a photographer. He's going to give you some gems and some ideas, which I'm going to watch. And I said, let me just do a live and you can watch it with me. And then we can actually look at it. If you have any questions, try to dissect it. Maybe have some advice to actually add on to it. But this is also good for those people out there that want to become a photographer, want to do pictures for models. But as a photographer, you have to be prepared. I mean, doesn't matter how much learning you do, how much of a pro that you are, you always have to brush up on your craft. So, without further ado, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this video. Let's try to get this up and running. Okay. And we're going to watch it together. And then from there, ask some questions, talk about it.
Welcome to today's episode. If you're not familiar with Kevin Deal Photography, we do gear reviews, tips, techniques, and tutorials, and sometimes we dive into film. If any of that sounds appealing to you, click the subscribe button below. If you're a photographer who shoots models, chances are at some point you've been asked to take their digitals, often referred to as Polaroids. So what are digitals? Digitals are a natural picture of a model that simply shows what they look like. Okay, well, why is that a big deal? Well, it's a big deal because when you look at pictures of models in magazines and things like that, they're put together, they have very elaborate makeup, sometimes they have hair extensions on, and sometimes they're wearing clothing that kind of hides their figure. That doesn't really give a prospective client or a modeling agency a clear picture of what a model actually looks like. So the industry requires that models submit pictures of themselves where they're not put together so people can kind of picture how to market them or how to use them for a particular project. So why do models get digitals? Well, sometimes they chop off their hair, sometimes they're auditioning for a job that requires it, sometimes they're an up-and-coming model who hasn't made digitals yet and they're trying to get signed with an agency. Maybe they're unhappy with their agency and they want to go to a new agency. The point being that there are many reasons why models get their digitals done. And as a photographer, if you are asked to take digitals, it's your job to understand what they need to show up with and how to take the pictures. And we're going to dive into that in today's episode. But if you're a model watching this, I'm going to have advice that you can follow as well. So stick around. You may wonder why they're called Polaroids, because back in the day, what we call digitals today were taken on Polaroids. And the reason
Okay. As he started off at the beginning was that we always got to be prepared when you're doing digital modeling. Well, modeling digitals, not digital modeling digitals. You always got to be prepared. Okay. One of the things is that we have to keep in mind is that when you're taking pictures of a model uh, for like a comp card or a bio or anything of that sort, the client, not the model, the client needs to see that that model as a empty, like an empty canvas. So in other words, you have to make sure that the model has on everything that's bare minimum, meaning less makeup on the face, uh form-fitting clothing, meaning that not so loose, form-fitting, so the client can see exactly what size you are and what the shape of your body is, so they can visualize how their garments are going to fit on that particular model. So that means basic nice form-fitted pants or jeans, black, or and also a form-fitting top, black, as I always say, and it has to be form fitting. When you wear something baggy, the client cannot see exactly how your shape of your body is to know exactly if their garment is going to be the right fit for you, or is this model going to be the right fit for them. So that's another thing that he's trying to explain to us as photographers when we're getting ready to, you know, do this job or do a gig or to take pictures of a model. We have to let them know, listen, when you come to take this to this photo shoot, make sure that you're prepared. Make sure that you have form-fitting outfits. You know, ladies, either a tank top that's form-fitting, leggings, or form-fitting pants or jeans. 4-inch, I think it's the basic is 4-inch heels. So always remember those things, okay? I'm gonna keep on playing. Hold on for 1 second.
Reason we took them on Polaroids is because photography is not the focal point of what's going on here. You just need to get a very quick picture of what somebody looks like, and Polaroids could get that job done. We didn't want to invest a bunch of money into that because film does cost money, and Polaroid film is relatively cheap. So what are some tips to making a great digital? Well, let's first start off with, if you're a model watching, you need to get your appropriate measurements together before you get your digitals done. So when you submit your digitals, you'll have your measurements put together. I'm not going to tell you how to do measurements in this episode. I'm sure if you search YouTube, you can learn how to properly take your measurements. Chances are you probably already know how to take your measurements, but if you're a model watching, you need to know that you need to have your measurements together when you have your digitals done. If you're a photographer watching this, you do need the model to show up to the set in the proper attire and with the proper makeup. So for photographers, you may just be assuming, well, the model's going to just show up with everything they need and I just have to take my pictures. And that's not necessarily true. A lot of models who show up on your set are new models who may not understand what makes a great digital and what they're supposed to show up with on set. So when the model arrives, you want them to arrive with little to no makeup. If they do wear makeup, very light foundation. And then if they do have breakouts, it's okay for them to wear concealer. For their outfit, you want black, neutral, form-fitting clothes, usually something like a tank top or something like these tight pants, something like jeans. And then lift your feet up, because I don't have something like platforms, skinny heels, stilettos, something that elevates their legs, because that's what modeling agencies want to see. So this is how you would arrive. It's your job as a photographer to make sure that the model knows to arrive like this. A lot of models who are getting their digitals done for the first time are new models, and they don't necessarily know how they're supposed to arrive. So make sure they're not arriving in baggy clothes with a face full of makeup, because then you're not going to take digitals that are worth anything. Now let's talk photography, probably what most of you all are interested in.
Okay. Again, like how I said, you always got to make sure that whatever model is going to be coming to this is for the photographers. If any model is coming to you to have model digitals being done by your service, make sure that they are coming prepared. Make sure that they are coming with form-fitting outfits. Basic black, tank top, like how he just showed that young lady there, black tank top, fitting jeans. With the ladies, it's the basic is 4-inch heels or 4-inch stilettos, whatever you can, just to actually give you height and to see, for the client to actually see exactly if your body is the right fit for their garment, for their design, for their outfits. Okay. And also just make sure that if they do not have an idea exactly what to get, the best thing, like how I did, the best thing to do is they have Pinterest. If you have a Pinterest account, they have a lot of photographs and stuff like that of other models and outfits that you can actually kind of suggest to them that they can actually get. Leggings, like I said, leggings or jeans. You could just send them links just to give them ideas of what they should have with them when they go to the gig, when they go to the photo shoot. So photographers always remember that, and just kind of help them out. We're gonna keep on playing this. Hold on.
Camera will do, so don't stress what camera you use. Just to be clear, you can.
Oh, now this part he's gonna get ready to talk about is for the photographers. Listen, like I said, sometimes you don't have to really stress out. Whatever camera you have is the best. You can actually use any type of camera: Canon, Sony, Nikon, Fuji, whichever camera that you have is a good camera to use. Okay. Even if you want to use your iPhone or your cell phone, you can also use that too. All you just need is the right background, good lighting, probably natural lighting, and you're all set. Okay, hold on for 1 second. I'm gonna put them back on so you can hear some more gems that this gentleman is gonna be giving us. Hold on.
Actually take digitals on an iPhone. They do not have to be something that is just masterful. And as a matter of fact, you need to dumb down your photography. If you decide that you want to pull out your 14 to 35 and do these crazy wide angle shots, or maybe you want to do that clamshell headshot, slick headshot photography, that Peter Hurley look, this is not the project you're supposed to do that on. You need to dumb down your photography, but you need to follow specific steps to make sure you get a good digital. So I often will shoot on a 50 millimeter lens, and the reason why is because 50 millimeter is basically our normal field of view. It's how we see the world. It's not going to distort things too much, and so I tend to use a 50 millimeter, but a zoom will do. If you have a 24 to 105 or a 24 to 70 or whatever, something that can get to about 50 millimeters is what you want to try to use. Don't shoot at a shallow depth of field. This is not the time to start shooting at 1.2 and having distracting backgrounds. As I said, background needs to be neutral. There needs to be nothing distracting in the background. So you typically want to stop down when you shoot these shots, and you want to use a non-distorted focal length, something like 50 millimeter. So as I mentioned earlier, models get their digitals done for several reasons. So for instance, if you look at these pictures that I'm showing you,
Okay. Now the next thing he was just talking about is that for photographers that are out there, what he's trying to explain is that, again, this is for the models, for the clients to see exactly. We to honestly say it, the models are like mannequins. The clients want to see exactly what kind of mannequin they want to use to put their garment on. It's like a human mannequin. So it's like they need to see their body shape. If you have anything baggy on, it's gonna be hard for a client to actually see exactly what they're gonna be working with. So in other words, if you are a size 2 and you have an oversized shirt that's like an XL, eventually you're gonna be taking pictures. It's gonna be a waste of time. And when you go to the client's gonna look and say, "Well, I don't know what your body, you know how your body is shaped. You know the type of design I have. It needs to have a petite size." So they need to find. You need to make sure that it's the basics that they have on. All basics. All basics. Okay. So let me just go here. Oh, and another thing too, like he said, no, try to like hold back on like the depth of field, stuff like that. Make sure that it's not like a 1.2 or a 1.4. Make sure that you have it to a point like most of the time I start off by a 5.6 and up. So at least you can have the background, some of the background as well as the model in there, and make sure that's either a gray, a gray background, white, not too much colors and not too much stuff in the back. Okay. So let's go back on to this.
that I took of Sophia a year ago, you'll see that her hair is different than it is right now. So when models get drastic haircuts, or maybe they get a different hair color, something like that, they'll update their digitals so people know what they currently look like. I'm gonna be recording internally in my camera as I pose Sophia so you can see the different poses and how you're supposed to take them inside of your camera. So let's get started. So as you can see with Sophia here, we don't have crazy shadows on her. As far as editing, you see these little screws that are in here, and you can take those out in post-production
What
if
I'm
you want.
actually gonna do is
But we're gonna start off.
to pause this, and I'm actually going to speed this up a little bit because I just want to show you exactly the next thing that they're trying to do is he's trying to guide the model into what type of poses to actually do. Mostly all of modeling agencies want to see quarter length, which is from head to the waist, full length, which is from head to toe, right? And then you want to do a pose from side to side, because sometimes people have sometimes the people will say that my right side is the best side or my left side is the best side. So you always want to do quarter length, full body, and then right side and left side. Okay. And it's always good to do quarter length, right side, left side, and then full length, right side, left side. And then from there, have them do freestyle posing. And the one thing about it that I always tell models and sometimes new models out there, try to be loose, enjoy, have fun. Have fun when you actually are going to do modeling. It's like dancing. When you're at home, you want to dance and move around, stuff like that. If music kind of like helps you be more relaxed, then tell them if you could play some music. It's just a whole thing of trying to see all the for the client to be able to see exactly how your body is formed, so they'll know exactly if you're the right type for their clothing or not. That's it. Let me see. I just want to show you how this girl is.
Now, give me a 3/4 turn, right about there. Too much. I need to see your face right about there. Now, keep your face, face a little bit to me. There we go. Perfect. Awesome. Now, fully to the side. Perfect. Now, give me the 3/4 turn the other way. I like to give 3/4 turns both ways because some people have a side that they like. Perfect. Just like that.
See?
Awesome. Now, all the way to the side. Perfect. Now go ahead and give me just some different personality shots. There we go.
Now, what he means about personality shots, because also with your comp card, you can actually go for gigs that are commercial modeling, meaning that it might be um, a print ad, or probably like a commercial, or a commercial that's actually in a magazine or something like that. Might be for sports, or for a drink, or let's say a different product. So that's when he's talking about to do some character poses. So at least if you want to do that also at the same time, at least it gives you versatility. Plain and simple. That's how that is.
Awesome. Perfect. Give me some more shots down around the arms, down low like that. Awesome. Perfect. Great job. But one other thing you should keep in mind as photographers is keep the camera about level with the chest, because if you shoot from...
Oh, that's another thing. All photographers out there, which is so true, because you don't want that you put the camera further down, because you don't want the client to be looking up anybody's nose. You don't want to have any weird looking pictures or photos or anything like that, because if you do, you're either gonna get like how can I say, the creepy looking photo, which is like more darkness from the top, from down top, or what have you. You only do those type of photos, you only do those type of positioning your camera is when you're actually doing a a photo shoot for a magazine and stuff like that, and they want a different style or something to that extent. But you always want to, for this type of photo shoot, it's always good to have it um up to the chest. Make sure that it's like upward, in other ways. Not just down. Just this is just from my point of view. This is from my experience. Okay, you do some more.
Too far down below, while the legs will look nice and long, the torso will look small, and you're kind of just shooting up the nose, which you don't want to do. You also don't want to shoot from above, because then you'll make the model's legs look small, and I don't know a model in the world who wants their legs to look smaller. So keep it around chest level when you're shooting. All right, so we're gonna do full body now. Go for it. There we go, full on. Beautiful. Excellent. Now give me a 3/4. Head a little bit more. There we go.
Exactly what I was saying before.
Perfect. Same. Head in a little.
Full length.
Perfect.
Quarter.
Awesome.
Right side.
Now,
left side.
Give me a full side.
Right side. You know, some people like.
A little.
Hey, look, my best side is my right side.
Right there.
Left side, my left side. You don't know which
now
one.
Give me full other side.
Do all of them.
Awesome. And now just give me whatever you want.
And it works.
Personality.
Yeah, look at that. You guys see the personality? They want
Straight
to do
on.
like a sport drink. Something.
Perfect.
It's pretty okay.
Excellent. So models will also ask you sometimes to take pictures of them in swimsuits. It's actually December, almost Christmas, a few days before Christmas, which is swimsuit season, because that's when they shoot all the swimsuit lines for the summer. So don't be surprised if a model reaches out to you in like November, December, and asks you to do digitals in a swimsuit. And when you're shooting a model in a swimsuit, it's just the same types of digitals you took when they were in the form-fitting clothes. You do the headshot, you do the 3/4 shot, you do the full body shot.
And it's always
but guys, you got to get your digitals done too. This is really the only spot in my house. I can kind of show you this is not ideal. I'm taking stuff down from Christmas, as you can see over my shoulder through the mirror. I'm going to give you a few pointers on how to do modeling digitals as men. I'm going to do them myself, and clearly I'm not a model. I mean, come on, when you look at this physique, don't you think that like Ford and Elite are knocking on my door? Okay, maybe not. But if I can do poses for digitals, then I certainly hope you can, because if you can't, I'm not sure why you're trying to get into modeling. So I'm going to show you how men should do posing and what they're supposed to wear. First and foremost, let's talk about what they're supposed to wear. So as you can see right here, I'm just wearing like a form-fitting plain shirt. You don't want graphics on your shirt or plaid or anything like that. No. It just shows off your arms and your physique. As far as pants, it's kind of the same thing. I'm wearing some form-fitting pants. You could wear jeans, skinny jeans, anything like that that shows off your legs. Just don't wear baggy pants. And then for shoes, I mean, I'm just wearing my Adidas, nothing crazy. Don't wear your Air Jordans that have like neon on them. And as I showed you with Sophia, sometimes women will do some shots in their swimsuits. With men, sometimes they're gonna want you to do some shots with no shirt on. So do the headshot, the 3/4, and the full body with the form-fitting clothes, and then do that same set with no shirt on. You want me to take my shirt off?
No, we don't want
I'm not going to.
But
yes, keep all that in mind, and let's go over some posing real quick. So for guys, 90% is finding stuff to do with your hands that look nice and natural. Pockets are always your friend. So stuff like hands in the back pocket.
I know, guys, it's very hard to figure out how to go about posing, just for the people that actually wants to try to get into doing the modeling, stuff like that. I know this is actually for photographer edition. It's modeling digitals, photographer edition, but it's also good for models that wants to get into this, even the gentlemen, because there's guys out there that say to themselves, okay, I know I have to look, but I don't know where to start. First things first, I always tell people, if you like modeling, if you like fashion, stuff like that, try to, find out who's your favorite model, who you like to look at, not look at, but who do you idolize, who you see yourself to be, at what level. You understand what I'm saying? So until you get to that point, then you can say, okay, I know who who I want to idolize, who I would like to follow behind, who I like to get to that point. And then from there, you can say to yourself, okay, let me look in the mirror. Let me just do some poses. I know guys have a hard time finding out what they should do with their hands. They either cross them, they either hold them in their hands. They kind of do the the elementary school pose, meaning that you put your hands together and you put them on the desk. No. Best way that some guys would do is put their hands in their pockets. They put their hands in their pockets. They either do it to the side. It's like making shapes, making shapes, making making movements. When you loosen up in front of a camera, then you'll be able to find different poses that you would never thought that you could be able to do. You understand what I'm saying? So it's a lot, but it's not a lot. Just takes, a few steps here and there, and you'll get it. You will get it. You will get it. Hold on.
One hand in the front pocket. Cross your arms.
See?
And then change up your emotions while you do it. So, you can sit there and just go, laugh. Don't be afraid. These are still frames. Nobody's going to hear you when you're done laugh. This isn't the time to do all these crazy, poses. Just keep everything kind of in a base. Show what you look like. That's the whole point of digitals. Am I approachable? What do I look like naturally? This is what you look like naturally when you're standing on a street corner. You just kind of have your arms crossed.
Exactly. You want to be natural.
That's it. That's just really it. If you're a guy, don't overthink it. Just do what comes naturally to you. So let's recap today's episode. If you're a model watching this episode, here's a few things that you just need to remember.
Write this
down.
Show
up with little to no makeup, very little base, and maybe only some concealer. Show up with form-fitting clothes, preferably black, along with skinny heels that are either black or nude.
Yes.
And also something that I didn't touch upon, which is show a diverse personality. I know a lot of you who are watching this want to do the Zoolander blue steel face all the time, like Mugatu's in the audience, trying to watch and be impressed. However, even though it would be great to walk for Louis Vuitton and people like that, the majority of you watching this probably aren't in New York, Milan, London, or Paris, which is where most fashion happens. So instead of Louis Vuitton being your client, it's likely going to be somebody like Walmart, and commercial projects require personality.
Right.
So when you're doing your range of faces and things like that, make sure you throw in a few smiles. For photographers, let's do some recapping on what you need to do to make sure that the digital session goes perfectly. Let's talk about lighting. For lighting, you typically want to use soft diffuse lighting, indirect lighting coming through something large like a window, and then you have something like a white wall or a reflector or even a sheet to fill in the shadow side. You do not want to sculpt shadows. You do not want heavy shadows. This isn't that type of project.
No.
If you find yourself in bad weather, then you can always use something like a large 70-inch rear umbrella, which is what I use when the weather is bad. But keep in mind, you are not the star of the show.
Exactly.
Use any camera that you have access to. Use focal lengths that don't distort too much. But keep in mind that if the photography looks amazing, you probably went too far. As far as posing goes, don't direct the model too much. As you saw in the video, I would say things like, okay, let's do a 3/4 turn. And then I allow Sophia or any model to get into a base pose and then naturally do what they want to do with their arms, with their legs, and things like that. Because if you over direct them, all you're going to translate on camera is someone who is being directed. And that's not the point of what you're trying to get across when you're taking digitals. Another thing to keep in mind about posing is that overly dramatic posing doesn't necessarily make for good digital. So when they put their hands over their head, or they take their hands and put them in and put their elbows forward, that does look great in fashion photography. However, that doesn't necessarily translate well for digitals. That's probably not what the modeling agency is looking for. That's probably.
So in other words, what we have learned tonight in the, how long have I been on here? For the 30 minutes so far, which is kind of long. I know a lot of y'all came in and then drop off and stuff like that, but I just hope that this is kind of helpful for people that want to get into this and don't know exactly where to start, how to start, who to search for, what to search for. Listen, for the models, like how he says, the basics: less makeup, form-fitting clothes, women heels. I think the basic is the heel size is 4 inches. Okay. Uh, for the guys, fitting jeans, pants, basic color, black, black. Okay, basic black. Second thing is flat shoes for the guys. The whole thing about it is just trying to figure out what you want to do with your hands. That's the whole thing. What you want to do with your hands. Just try your best to, you know, this be free, just move around and stuff, because again, which is so right. You don't want, and plus I don't want to be the one that's going to keep on directing you, because if I'm not the person that's going to be there, then you're always going to be wanting somebody to always direct you. You want to be able to direct you. You understand what I'm saying? So for those people out there, it's very, those are some pointers that definitely to, keep in mind. Definitely keep in mind. I mean, this really keep those things in mind, because when you do keep those things in mind, it will help you down the line. Let me just bring this up again. So, in other words, one thing for those people that are out there that want to do this, become a model, do photography, so on and so forth. These are some good tips and tricks. Not tips and tricks, but tips to actually really go by. Like how they say it's always the basics. This is the best thing. So keep that in mind. I hope this helped you out. I hope it definitely helped me out. And I'm gonna try to do another live in regards to photography and modeling. and And also, I know that Fashion Week is going to be coming. Well, Fashion Week is going to be, let's see, um, in September. They had just one. Was swimwear Fashion Week, I think it was. Um, but in September, that's going to be something that's going to be coming up. I'm going to be there, and I don't know. I might just think of probably doing a giveaway and selecting somebody to come with me. I don't know. But whoever wants to get into model, just subscribe and just check it out. I don't know, September, like I said, it's going to be Fashion Week. I might do a giveaway to have somebody come with me, be my guest, and go to Fashion Week in September. Well, we'll see. We'll see how it works. But that's it. Um, I'm gonna end this live right now. I hope this actually helps somebody out there. I know I've been looking down because I'm actually looking down on here to see exactly this, which I should be looking at the screen. I mean, not the screen, but there. So, hope y'all had a good time. I know I did. And listen, until next time. Talk to you later. Bye bye. Let's sign off. Let's sign off.